Hello, this is AT&T 360 Aviation Travels and Tourism Report Radio. And with me are beautiful and the wonderful, sensational Igwe and Lolo, right?
Of Africa.
Of Africa. So, what do you represent in tourism and travel industry?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Rikefe.
Yes.
It's nice being here with you.
Thank you.
Well, talking about tourism and what I represent, I'm popularly known as the Valerie of Africa. And in this regards, according to our culture, I'm the Lolo of Africa. I am a professional travel professional. I'm an on-air personality too. I'm into media. And of course, I'm an African fashion advocate.
Interesting. Igwe, what about you? Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, of course, regarding tourism and African culture, our stories have been told in the ways that are not really what they're supposed to be. So we are trying to untell the story that have been told to us in our own African way. And that is why we have embarked on this very project.
So, with lots of leisure places in Nigeria, what do you think can be done to boost the future of travel and tourism in Nigeria?
Well, firstly, I want to state clearly for the purpose of documentation that Nigeria as a country is blessed with many tourism potentials. And I feel the government should look more into the sector of appreciating what God has given to us first, and of course, investing so much into tourism. And one very, very beautiful aspect of tourism, actually, the entertainers. You know, the entertainers depict actually who we are. If you look at content creation today, it mimics at times. It makes you laugh. It also depicts what the scenario is. So my advice to boosting our tourism sector will be for the government, the multinational, to look deeply into investing more in tourism and entertainment.
Okay, so that's beautiful. Igwe, what about you? What's the target audience when it comes to tourism and travels in Nigeria?
Well, the target audience is global
Okay, global.
because what we're trying to do is showcase Africa in a better light. You understand? Because nobody can tell our story better than we who experience everything that happens here in Africa. Because here is the cradle of civilization, but out there is being given in a different narrative, as if we are the one learning from there. But this is where every other person learns from. So we are in better position to tell these stories. And I believe the government can come in different ways. We need to bring back some history, storytelling in our schools. So thereby, we use our own way, African way, to convey our story to our generation, so that by the time they are coming up, they will be able to also pass it on. But I don't know why they remove history from the school syllabus these days. So it's quite unfortunate.
Okay. So, Igwe, how
Yeah.
can we preserve this heritage as tourists and travelers?
Like I said earlier, one of the ways of preserving these stories or these our tourist programs is by documentation, and that documentation goes a long way. So if we are able to go into documentaries, going to places, getting all the storage sites and getting them documented and putting them out there on the screen, it's also going to go a long way telling our stories out there, you understand, to the larger audience globally. So I think that's one of the best way to go about it.
You know, when you talk about history, it baffles me because we've lost a lot of things when it comes to our heritage.
Yeah.
I feel that we've lost a lot of heritage and stories and a lot of histories concerning our race and all that. Now, can you tell me the sources? Because one thing is, okay, fine, we go to the internet, we read about the tortoise and the lion and all that, But your own source, how do you derive the true stories and true values of the African culture?
If you want to get the real value, the real source of the true African culture is by visiting the sites. There is no other way you can be able to get that except to go to the sites.
Okay.
And this is what we are embarking on this project. Okay? By the time we go to various sites, like we have the Budukatu Ranch, we have the Zuma Rock, we have the Doba festivals, we have a lot of tourist sites in Nigeria. But if we don't go to those places, you cannot be able to get first-hand information on the history of such places.
Well,
Okay,
in my
Lola.
own humble opinion, I feel charity, they say, begins from home. And of course, when you talk about something and you believe about something, let it show on you. I feel we should first of all change the mentality.
Okay.
Especially this is to the African ladies. We should be proud of where we are from. We should be proud of what we have. For instance, as Valerie of Africa, when you see me dressed in my African costume, nobody has to tell you that, oh, this lady is, culturally inclined. So I think, first of all, we should have to change that mindset, that our African culture is rich. We should, of course, first of all, change the narrative, first of all, that African fashion is, rich. Like I'm an African fashion advocate. Wherever I go, I always look unique. Because when you see my earrings, you see my caps, you see my dress, nobody has to tell you that this lady loves African fashion. And it makes you stand out. So this is to all Nigerian ladies, to all African ladies. Let us encourage ourselves to wear more of what we do. I make raffia jewelries. I make raffia bags. And you can't see me, hardly see me wearing any other bags. You always see me carry my raffia bags. I have them in different forms. You see me wearing my raffia earrings. I especially like the long ones. So we could actually make it smaller if you want, but you could wear African fabrics. Let's learn to, express ourselves in what we wear. So I feel one way by which we can promote the African culture, preserve our rich heritage, and of course, imbibe into the younger generation is first of all to love our culture and, depict what we want the younger Gen Zs, as they are called,
Yeah, the Gen
to
Zs.
understand
Okay.
what the culture is. And your culture starts from the dressing, goes to the food, goes to the environment, what you see in the immediate environment. And of course, before you now talk of documenting, because if you don't have these things in place, what is there to document? What is
Okay.
there to document? For instance, I want from 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, for my children to look back and look at my picture and be proud of who their mother was. I would want the younger generation to look at my pictures, to look at my videos and say, wow, that's the Valerie of Africa. Oh, I love what she's wearing. She looks African, she's black, she's bold, and she's beautiful. So that is what the African women should depict. So I'm sure that is where our culture starts. That is where our pride starts, with our dressing. Thank you.
Okay, okay. That man, that was
All right.
Igwe.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're like, yeah, she's talking. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
beautiful.
And you said charity begins from home.
From home.
Yes, it's very, very important. You're going to change the mindset of the Gen Zs and all that. Then also school. I believe you have plans for schools too as well, because we're going to talk about history. It's part of the curriculum, I guess. So that's good. Now, how do you think travels and tourism can thrive in a country like Nigeria, as Nigeria with lots of security challenges bedeviling the society? Because right now, Nigeria has been painted bad in the eyes of the world. So how can we curve that? How can we change the scenario? How can we change the narration?
All right, to that end, I would also like to put it back to everyone's thoughts. Let us practice what we preach.
Okay.
Okay? Practicing what you preach, it means let there be positive behavioral change. By the time you, as a father, as a mother, as children, as neighbors, you're talking to one another on the right things to do. I think the issue of insecurity actually starts within our immediate environment. You know, on the streets today, you see these young boys, you see some young girls, they are loose on the streets. You begin to wonder, where did they come from? Now, the home, the first place a child grows up is the home. And if in that home, he or she is taught that, be upright in what you do, I think we'll have less issues of insecurity in the country today. Because most of these people are easily endured to this kidnapping and all the stuff because of maybe you know fast wealth or something like that. But I think if they had been taught from their cradle days that it's not all about that, the insecurity could be curbed to a certain level. So if you, me, and everyone, the government, the multinationals, the teachers in the school, the children in the school could have this positive behavioral change, this positive mindset, to stand by one another and to stand by the right things. I think this issue of insecurity will dampen, a bit. Now, talking about tourism and security, the two goes together. The two have to go together. And we all, it's not even about only the government, the community heads. The community heads, because most of these beautiful tourism sites, they always in a community. The security should start from there. If I, as a tourist, maybe from I'm coming into our country, and I hear of a beautiful place somewhere, let's use the eastern part of Nigeria. I want to go to the eastern part of Nigeria. People live there. Even amidst the insecurity, people live there. So if that community can stand, the community heads can stand together with the farmers, with the hunters, with everyone in the community and say, no, we have a tourism site here that anybody in the world can come to. We need to preserve it. We need to keep it safe. Then I think there will be lesser problem. But in most times, just like back to what I said the first time, most times, even these communities, some of them plan this, make it very uncomfortable for tourists to come into their community. Sometimes you go into a community, they're asking you this, they're asking you that, you're feeling very insecure in their midst and all that. You will want to go back there or tell someone else to go back there. So I feel the issue of insecurity should be tackled among the community first, before looking for the government to come and support you. Among the community members, you should be able to come together and say, we want to preserve tourism in our community. We want to welcome strangers to come and see the beautiful aspect of our tourism. So I think we should look inward when we're talking about the insecurity thing and tourism, because they actually go together.
Okay, our king, Igwe. What do you have to say as well?
Well, she has said it all. Like they say, charity begins at home.
Okay.
So the security challenges we're having should be tackled from the home to the ward, from the ward to the community, to the local government and the rest. But nevertheless, the government really have to do a lot, because they are the chief security officers of the country. So they have a very big role to play. I think it's high time we stop playing hide and seek with this issue of insecurity, if we really want to deal with insecurity. And it's only a secure country that people want to visit.
Exactly.
So nobody will want to hear ill things about security in your country, and they want to jump into the country to come and visit. So it's high time the government really have to pick it up. If they have to partner with the local authorities, better, at least from the federal level to the local level, with the community chiefs and the rest. This is a very minor thing, because there's a saying that any security challenge in any country that lasts beyond 24 hours, I think the government knows something about that. But I don't know where that comes from.
I'm not here.
So I think they should be able to, they are the ones to protect the indigenous of the community and the citizenry of the very country that you want to be visited by tourists. So why not go ahead and do your job? It's their job. We have given them the mandate, so they are capable of doing it.
Okay.
Or do they want the Igwe to come and do it for
No,
them?
the king
Yes,
should
the
not
Igwe
stand up.
should do it.
No. We cannot afford 10 cows, please. Okay, so Can you tell us about Afra? What led to the initiative and what value is the project going to bring to the African continent?
Okay, Afra as the initials. Afra means the African Raffia, Adire, and Ashoki Festival. Yes, that's the full meaning of Afra. It's going to be a beautiful event, of course, to depict the African rich um, image. Just like I always say, I'm an African fashion advocate. So I love anything that has to do with African fashion. So raffia, as we know, you could use raffia for so many things. You use raffia to make mats. You use raffia to make tables, chairs. You use raffia to make jewelries. You can even use raffia to make beautiful raffia skirts and raffia headgears and all that. So, so talking about the Afra festival, we intend to use Araf to depict what we believe in. We talk about Ashoki. Ashoke is a very beautiful clothing, worn mostly by the western part of Nigeria, and I think they also wear it in other countries. We talk about the Adire. Adire is a very, just like the one I'm wearing, it's a very beautiful, has beautiful patterns, you know. And if you look at most of these patterns, they actually tell a story. You know, you see your African fabric, it's telling you a story of, you know, the ancient days, it's telling you the story of the beautiful princess, it's telling you a story of, you know, the Adire tells you a whole lot of, you know, story in one place. So I would like to use the Afra festival to depict what Africa is like. We have the raffia, we have the Adire, we have the Ashoke. The men can wear it, the women can wear it. If we, on our own as, you know, Africans and Nigerians start promoting what we have, every other person out there also would, you know, want to emulate us and, you know, keep it going. And of course, the younger generation is going to learn from the Afrofest because when they come, they will see the beauty of wearing Ashoke. You can use Ashoke to sew anything. You can put it as a pattern on your white. You can put it as a pattern on any other clothing. You can use it to sew kimono. You can use it to sew any other jumpsuit or something. You can use Adire to sew jumpsuit. You can use it to show any modern style you want to. You can wear your raffia earrings on, you know, even on your suit. You can wear it on any other cloth you're wearing. It doesn't select. So the Afro Festival is going to be seeing a very beautiful fashion show that you see where how you can combine your raffia earrings, your raffia bags, your ashoke, your adire. You make it a blend of it and it becomes beautiful. So I encourage everyone to look forward to Afrofest, which will be coming up shortly. Of course, in partnership with your creative station and people of like minds in the creative industry.
Okay, so Igwe, do you have anything to add to what she just said?
Well, I'm in support of what she's doing.
I trust
It's
you.
her baby project.
You must shall trust her. Lolo of Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, so fine. It's actually an intriguing. It's going to be interesting, quite all right. But I'm looking at the wider view.
Okay.
Are you starting from Nigeria? Are you starting from Lagos State, then move to other states, or is it the whole country put together and then your festival comes up?
Well, like they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
Okay.
Definitely, we are going to make the first step, and it's right here in Lagos.
Right here in Lagos. Listeners and viewers, you're actually hearing it for the very first time. Right here in Lagos. And please do not forget to follow us and also subscribe on our social media handles. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sorry, not Twitter. Sorry, Gen Z. It's X. I know that. Thank you. All right. It's been lovely talking to you, both of you. I'm really intrigued, you know. I love your costumes. I love what you're wearing. Madam, you're looking mwah. You know.
You're welcome.
Igwe, please don't be.
You're welcome.
All right, to all my listeners and viewers, this is Ricky Fonofi, and Follow us more on AT&T 360 Radio. Thank you.
Welcome.
And we are the Igwe and the Lolo of Africa.
Okay, yes. Like I said, I love your costumes. You know,
Thank you.
I'm seeing a blend of so many, traditional attires put together.
Alright.
Your beads and all that. So,
Yeah.
can you tell us things about what I'm seeing? The Igbo, Yoruba, and all that mixed together.
Yeah, I
you know?
already answered the question myself. Okay, well, the inspiration behind the costume you've seen, it has to do with a total African, starting from Nigeria.
Okay.
Like as you can see, the beads, the crown, and even the hand fan is from the eastern part of Nigeria, which is the Igbo tribe. Then the regalia is made of ashoke, which is from the western part of Nigeria. And the embroidering here is done by my house of friend from the north.
Wow.
So you can see it's a full representation. And I've done, not to forget, we have the gold. You know, Nigeria is blessed with gold too. So that's where you
Okay.
can see the wristwatch is made of
Diamonds.
gold and diamonds.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, madam.
Well, to me, I would always stand with my African fashion.
Okay.
Well, what I'm wearing, I'm a born princess from the Ndukwa kingdom, a double princess anyway, from the mother father side. So you see my crown depicts the royalty, and of course you can see my beautiful pattern, just like I told you, depicting Africa, depicting that we are one. You can see it, you can see the marks. And I often like colors that tell who I am. I'm dark, so I need to wear something bright.
Black beauty.
Yes. So the raffia earrings, I depict Africa. With this, you hear people asking, where you from? Where you from? You know that it's Africa. What I'm wearing on my neck, the jewelry also depicts Africa. So I'm Africa. So it's the Valerie of Africa, it's the Lolo of Africa.
Okay. When I grow up, I would like to be like you.
You better start now.
Yeah, very soon.
You're also wearing Africa.
Exactly. Yeah. Purely African. Yeah. As you can see.
And with that, we like to say Rikefe, Igwe, and the Lolo of Africa.
They've actually given me a new chieftaincy title. So when you
That
see
is the
me,
Rikefe of
call me
Africa.
Chief Ovie. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for having us around.
Okay.
All right, people, it's been a very beautiful evening. And of course, we are the
Igwe
and the Lolo of Africa. So keep watching the AT&T 360 Aviation, Travel, and Tourism Reports Radio. Thank you, with Erikefe of Africa.
Yeah.
And the same.
The big chief,